worthy. I'm just kind of. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lore Lines. We are on week, is it 18 or 19? My goodness. Well, anyway, it's part 2 of the Primals, Icons, and Auspices. Last week we did quite a bit of discussion from Encyclopedia Eorzea, Volume 1. We went through Ifrit all the way down through Thordan, I believe, and I just wanted to welcome everyone. Thank you for being patient. We are 4 minutes a little bit late here today, and but the upside is we have the full cast, so very excited to welcome everyone here this week, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to Lore Lines. Everybody, how you
Hey
been?
guys, did you know that the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial and includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 with no restrictions or playtime?
The memes.
That's not quite true because there's a lot of social things that are restricted. But I did not.
I did not, even though I knew about the restrictions.
That's why it's no restrictions on playtime. That's what he said. You don't have like only 25 hours and then you're out of luck.
I figured I'd start off today with a bang.
Oh, it's glorious. But you can't whisper tell or join an FC.
So I also want to thank everyone in our chat. There are far more entertaining things to be watching on Twitch right now. Roughly around the purview, or not purview, but around the range of like 200,000 people watching. But I just want to say thank you for joining us today.
You kind of sneakily referred to something there. I like that.
Sludge Prince, remember when 1.0 had a limit on how much XP you could get per day? This is the funniest failures of 1.0 because rested XP has been in place since many years. But they
okay, Grandpa.
Oh, boy. They flipped it on us.
God, I don't miss that system at all. I also prefer it now because, like, we have range dressing. Isn't that much better?
It's the same math, but bonus XP is way better than penalized XP.
Exactly.
See, the XP in 1.0 didn't weird me out too much just because before I played 1.0, I played some Korean MMOs that have
I think we need another Meowth counter.
Limits. Yeah, we need another Meowth counter.
Can we talk about
bump that up to 2?
Can we talk about how you had to level your shield block separately? And you had to actually hold the thing up.
What was it? Skyrim? Jesus.
Yeah. It's Morrowind.
Bring on the Skyrim memes.
Oh, how about the pucks doing their backflip, 100 to zeroing you?
I mean, let's be honest. The game does start with us riding in a carriage, so at least if you start in Gridania. I literally thought I was going to wake up and I was going to be in Skyrim. And it's like, welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Skyrim.
Yeah, you warriors are right. Empire was nice and lazy until you came along.
The opening opens with Fuzzro Da and then just shows it.
Now I really wish I was more musically inclined so that I could make a Skyrim Final Fantasy Repedro mashup.
You know, you should do it anyway, precisely because you're not musically inclined. That's the best reason to do it.
Do it.
Tap me and we'll make it happen. At any rate, let us take a moment and be thankful for all of the quality of life upgrades that they have put into place and the love that they've put into the game to try and make it more enjoyable and more appealing.
Definitely.
Is that throwing shade at Blizzard?
Would I do that?
Anyway, I was working
Yes.
with boosts and drops.
And so would I.
Frankly, I don't know enough about Blizzard's processes to really speak to it. It's not my area of expertise. I just know people are complaining about stuff, so, you know.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, it's a day ending in Y then.
So how about those primals?
Yeah.
Yes. So what did we talk about last week? Because I was here, but I don't remember any of it.
We talk about Primals, Cobran.
Oh, I know that, but like, how far did we get?
We got all the way. We did all of the Realm Reborn and some of Heavensward. We didn't do Shiva yet, so I know that she's a part of Realm Reborn as well, kind of. Ravana, we did. Thordan, we did.
Because Mark, we did.
We actually did Shiva because we wanted to close up Heavensward and.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, we did do Shiva.
Yeah, we
Warring.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we did Shiva, and so did Hraesvulgar.
Don't die.
Well, shall I bring up the encyclopedia and throw us over to the other page?
I think Warring Triad might be next? Question mark.
Did we
Yeah,
do
because
Bismarck?
We have Phoenix and Bahamut, and then we.
Right.
Triad.
Yeah,
Right.
I stopped on Bahamut because the Warring Triad is connected to Bahamut, and that would have taken us 4 more.
Yeah, if
We
we're
stopped
going
on
to
Odin.
go over the Warring Triad, then Fal definitely needs to get his butt online.
Yeah, we definitely
Working
stopped
on it,
Odin.
right? I only have 5 fingers on my left hand.
Well, you should fix that.
I know, right? Robotic arms.
I
I
would get
mean,
robotic arms in a
if
heartbeat.
you add the other one back, Inigo Montoya
I'm
might come and
the
kill
only
you, so-
half robot here. No one else can be.
All right, let me switch the channels here.
Okay, but
Roll
can
the
I be
full screen
2/3
watch party.
robot then?
No.
Need some robot to back that up.
Back that up.
I prefer to be an eldritch horror like my love.
Really?
Whatever doesn't give me wrist problems works, honestly.
Visuals a
Something
little.
covering the text. Is it another 14 ad?
We're good.
Why is... Oh, I know why. Never mind. I was searching for Primal earlier. There we go. You probably hear my game audio. Don't mind me.
I'm not
No.
hearing anything, but
The sound of you laughing.
Shall I go ahead and read it?
Yeah, go ahead if you can. I know some of it's extremely difficult.
There are
Oh,
many
yeah,
who
never mind.
claim to have witnessed the legendary phoenix appearing in the sky following the Battle of Carteneau. Accounts of that time are fragmentary and inconsistent owing to the forgetful haze afflicting survivors of the calamity, but the tale of the mythical bird of rebirth coming to Eorzea's salvation is a persistent one nonetheless. While some might dismiss such memories as a hallucination or wishful thinking, others have pieced them together to form a credible theory. Archon Louisoix's attempt to summon the 12 and halt the fall of Dalamud was interrupted in spectacular fashion when the elder primate Bahamut burst forth from the Red Moon's core. Drawing upon the vast quantities of ether gathered to summon the 12, it was the collective subconscious of Eorzea's people and the prayers for our dying star's survival that likely called the fiery phoenix into being. While there's no solid evidence to support this idea, such an occurrence would be entirely in keeping with the metaphysical logic of primal summoning.
That cutscene was great, by the way, for those who haven't seen it.
It is. Go look it up on YouTube. It's
Yes.
fantastic. Also, couldn't help but notice the collective subconscious of Eorzea's people and the prayers for our dying star's survival. Little nod there.
not nudge, wink, wink.
Precisely.
Mhm.
Well,
There's-
let's attempt another summoning.
Please. Hey, when are the twins gonna summon that phoenix?
No.
Hey, I'm not... Listen, I've been waiting so long for this, and to be honest, I don't understand why we get Demi Phoenix without any quest unlock in Shadowbringers. It's cool as heck, but where's the lore? Because the twins at the end of the Coil series have a certain dialogue with a certain character, and certain powers were given related to the books. So, anybody want to take that?
Listen, they need to deal with their daddy issues first.
I can deal with their daddy issues.
Oh my
What's
I know,
coming?
I know, like 3 or 4 people can. All right, right here. I can call each of you out, but no.
Something that I find interesting regarding Phoenix, because Phoenix is, I mean, how hard are we going on spoilers here?
Let's go all in.
This is a lore This is a lore podcast, so
Okay.
All the way.
So Luiswa is Phoenix, and he's tempered by Bahamut. Luiswa is Phoenix, and he's tempered by Bahamut. So when we compare this Phoenix here with the color scheme of Bahamut, we see that certainly there's an influence because our Demi Phoenix is not blue at all. The blue thing is replaced by a orange fire-like thing, but this Phoenix here doesn't. So it is quite interesting that Phoenix is the case of a primal tempered to another primal.
we didn't get the blue eyes. We got the red ones. Look, he's trying to log in.
You can do it.
What are you doing?
Making it shrinky. Bonnie asked me to log in.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's like it's like it's like in some kind of Inception, primal tempering another primal.
So I
Temperception.
think a lot of it is a lot like what we're seeing now, where the tempering occurs first, and then the tempered summon the primal, because Phoenix did not temper anyone. Phoenix was already tempered.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, Phoenix kind of. I mean, regarding the reason we get Demi Phoenix, it could mean many things. I mean, like if they want to go with the route of Asem having pulled in a Luis round and Sander and being something like Phoenix, they could do it, and it would make sense if they were going to give Phoenix to us. But at the same time, I think pretty much it's kind of implied that even if we have not done coils, the story kind of assumes we have done coils.
Pretty much. Zombies says by whom?
By whom? By whom what?
I mean,
by
tempered
whom?
by whom?
I would assume so.
Bahamut. Similar to how Nailed and
Duty
Darkness
points.
was. When Louis Waugh DBZ'd his way through Bahamut and turned into Aether, he was kind of absorbed by Bahamut and enthralled.
There's also
yeah.
the consideration that Phoenix is essentially, as far as I can tell, just formed from Louis Waugh's soul and then the hopes of the people. So
and
having the
dreams.
soul in there may have some effect. Interestingly, when we speak with Tiamat, I believe in Heavensward, she also says that, yeah, they summoned back his soul. No, it's in the lore book. They summoned back his soul, but it was all twisted and corrupted or whatever.
Zombies and Netta. So, to get straight to it, there's a cutscene at the end of this raid that involves the real story of Louis Waugh. And so, as Cartano's falling, he's the only one left. He ports everyone forward in time, and he thinks it's all over. But there's so much ether in the hopes and dreams of the fallen that he essentially becomes the deific form of the essence of those hopes, and that is fundamentally Phoenix, the primal entity of rebirth. So by pure accident, he doesn't intentionally become Phoenix. It just kind of happens. He DBZs Bahamut, as stated by Cobron, and then he starts to give his ether back to the land, and big whoops, because Bahamut wasn't dead yet. So Bahamut tempers Louis Waugh, and that's essentially the story.
Ta-da!
Happy
So
accident.
in a one fell swoop, Phoenix both saves Eorzea from the hope, born from the hopes and prayers of all the people that live in the place, and also revitalize the land.
You need to work on that cough.
Yeah. I'm wondering actually why I'm not dead yet.
We'll fix that.
Wow.
Zombie Zanetta is asking a specific question. Does he, in essence, become a primal or an icon? This is actually a really interesting point of contention here, and I'm not sure we have a canon answer as to if there's even a distinguishing feature, but what strikes me about the term icon in its usage in Garlemald as well as Alag is essentially, you know, the core word of this, icon. So this brings to mind, like, some sort of innate entity, some sort of almost platonic ideal form, which is curious. In the Eden raids, when we're summoning various things in current content, it's like channeling the color of the ether, the element, almost innately imbues like some sort of bestial or otherwise aspect. So this whole icon thing reminds me of this concept I have in mind that I keep mentioning of maybe there's a crystal bank somewhere where these concepts are stored.
So worth considering or mentioning that term ICON, icon, is also used to refer to representations of like religious artifacts. For example, the Eden raids have iconoclasm, which is destroying religious symbolism.
Correct.
I also want to add that, to that, actually, when they are referring to an icon, they are referring specifically to primals or summonings who are summoned as gods, not those that are summoned as equals. Even though they don't really make a distinction between them in Garlemald, I feel like that's really a distinction that should be made, and where that kind of nomenclature would fall.
Yeah, I think we kind of think of an Elder Primal, you know, a big one, when we say an icon. But the Guardians use it for pretty much every Primal. Phoenix, at least, I think it's more similar to Shiva and others in this fancy than others, because I think it's Luisua's soul still in there, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of incarnate summoning.
Yes, it's absolutely. So I was talking about classes of primals last week, the class 1s, 2s, and 3s, and this would be class 2, which would basically be primals that are possessions of people. So either Luisua or Shiva or Thordan, where they are summoned into an already existing vessel or a soul and don't temper.
Reload G pose. I turned around. You don't have to stare at my backside forever.
I guess
Aw.
they could. I guess they could temper if they wanted, judging by Queen Gunhildr, for example.
It's possible, but Queen Gunhildr would be more of a class 1, where they are summoned as a higher being, and then
Ooh.
do temper.
Shinryu, Shinryu is complicated as fuck.
It is.
Shinryu is similar to Phoenix, yes. Just think about the fundaments. So, a bunch of people die, they have an emotion. That emotion is given some sort of battery power, in Shinryu's case, eyeballs, from space aliens.
Not wrong.
Then
Not wrong.
The will of the summoner chooses the beast. So, in this case, Griffin Sama is summoning a very angry, multi-aspect dragon horde.
Don't be sorry, zombie. Don't be.
But
not
No,
talking
we
about
want
this.
questions. This is wonderful.
What we do.
Thank you.
yeah, I don't know if the encyclopedia talks about Shinryu. I would save this discussion when we get there, because Shinryu, I think it has a lot of layers.
It does. So shall we move on to Sephiroth, Sophia, and Zervin?
Let's do it.
Oh,
Let's go
Bahamut.
down.
Yeah, let's take a pit stop at Bahamut.
Pit stop.
Yeah, now we can pick up.
No one
Sarah.
likes Bahamut. I'm just kidding.
No, questions actually help us engage. I mean, they're exactly what we want. We want to engage with community and kind of hang out and talk shop. So thank you, and don't ever apologize. Keep them coming.
Yes.
Yes.
So go back one page to Bahamut. And I will go ahead and read it off since I have the EE in front of me.
Ah, yes. I love this picture. I kind of want this art as a poster on my wall.
Yes, this is the reason we all flipped out when the Endwalker trailer dropped and Histinian said Vritra, because now we're finally seeing, another one of the first brood, and we're only missing one now, so I digress.
Now you're being pinged. Anyways,
Thank you for the announcement. I'll take care of it.
one of the 7 great worms, Bahamut, was slain while fighting against the Allagan invasion of Mericidia. His brood sister Tiamat led the surviving dragons in a summoning ritual, and their prayers resurrected the Dreadworm as an avenging primal. A terrible incarnation of wrath and fury, Bahamut descended upon the heart of the conflict and incinerated the northern invaders with ruinous flames. He was eventually undone by the might of the anti-primal weapon Omega, and his undying rage was sealed within the core of Dalamud. For millennia, the shackled entity's command over flare and fire was employed to harness and store the energy of the sun. Then came the fateful end of the 6th Astral Era. By enthralling the mind of the Garlean legatus Nael Van Darnus, the Bahamut was able to manipulate the direction of the Meteor Project, and thus free himself from the skies of Cartano. Released from the Red Moon after 5,000 years of imprisonment, the furnace of the Dreadworm's vengeance immolated the land of Eorzea, and ushered in the aether-warping devastation of the 7th Umbral Calamity. More Omega, guys!
Hopping out of Phoenix for a moment.
So
I can't 1v1 him.
I mean, you can if you want to crush the bird.
I'm not entirely convinced that Bahamut did that without any kind of help.
Ooh, do I get to sing the song too?
Sure.
No, don't make me.
Did
My
what
voice breaks
specifically
every
are you
minute or
talking
so.
about?
My voice breaks every minute or so thanks to my device, so.
Like just robot problems.
Yeah, hashtag just robot problems.
So, on Bahamut, I remember in A Realm Reborn, everybody was telling me that we were going to end up fighting Bahamut, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I had no conception that they would use primes as a mini kind of entity that we have to fight. I was like, what? How do you think we're going to fight this thing? Have you seen the trailer? Like, guys.
It's like saying I'm gonna fight the moon.
I don't know, for like, if there are any Warcraft people, it's like having like 50 Deathwings stacked on each other, size-wise. This thing is a planet-busting 5,000 years of pure anger.
It's a Titan in Warcraft terms.
Yeah, it's
Sargeras,
a Titan. It's
basically.
a Titan tier boss that would have absolutely destroyed the whole planet had it not been for the events that actually occurred, but...
Farewell, Bahamut.
The only thing the Star can be grateful for is that Eorzea is like the United States in movies. Everything happens there.
True.
Yeah.
Guys,
Fighting
look, I put a cutscene
Bahamut
up.
wasn't.
I'm so happy.
Fighting Bahamut wasn't that weird of a concept to me, just because I come from FF11 and all of the avatars are Shiva Prime, Ifrit Prime, etc. So I kind of just expected it.
He is not yet home.
So,
I
Bahamut,
did not think him capable.
go ahead.
I figured when I started playing, like after looking at the cinematic, like that this dragon is something we're going to fight one day. I kind of envisioned it in the same way that you see like Illidan or Arthas in a World of Warcraft. They're like, he's the big bad in this part of the game, this initial part of the game. So it almost feels like it would be stranger to me not fighting him at some point.
I agree.
So when it did eventually come to be the case that we would fight him, my main worry or wonder was that he's like 50, 100 feet tall, like Godzilla-like size. How are we going to fight him? Is it going to be like when we fought Twintania on his claw? Is he going to be that big? Or is he going to be like, like he is here? Is he going to be more our size? And then it turned out that we're fighting him in essentially his own, I guess, little pocket realm of existence, possibly inside of his own aether, his own mind.
Sure.
So he's scaled down to meet us, essentially.
One thing I found interesting with Bahamut is the fact that, as far as we know, he is the only primal that has a heart, kind of. That's a tangible heart. So it actually looks like a crystal, if you ask me. So
it is a straight up crystal in the final cutscenes, which is why I think there's a misconception, thankfully rare misconception, that the Zodiac crystal cutscene at the end of 2.0 is Bahamut's heart and not Zodiac. Yes, some people actually think that.
That is a strange misconception that I've never heard of.
Thankfully uncommon, she says, I think.
Yes. It exists, but it's uncommon.
It should not exist.
Yeah.
I will not let your wrathful fires consume.
It's because you hear the roar at the end of initial 2.0, and then you get the vision of Zodiac as well in the same span of cutscenes, and people are like, "Oh, okay, so the roar is from Bahamut, so obviously the grape crystal is Bahamut's heart, since Bahamut's heart is also purple, right?" So, like, I see kind of how they get there.
They can see the logic, yeah. But it's a big misconception.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just what?
Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around that too.
Let me join my strength to yours.
Hey guys, it's Twincast.
Yeah.
Speaking of purple crystal, you can actually kind of see them below the platform that we're on in here.
In this moment, our purpose has become one.
So, as far as Bahamut goes, I think Bahamut's kind of an interesting case because it's absolutely a class 1 primal that can temper, but at the same time, it was summoned not as a god but as an equal. So it wasn't a primal that was summoned out of want for salvation, but the mourning of a lost love.
Would you look at that?
The twins, yeah.
A yang thing going on there.
The power of familial love.
It's the power of the Keyblade.
You must destroy
Get out.
I was going to say it's the combination pretty much of the power of the twins, and the twins is a symbol that lately has been interesting to say the least. So
I've been
sorry. Yeah. No, I'm just eyeing this thing like it's Luisua with the twins, and yeah, I have thoughts, but I don't I don't usually voice them because I'm not going to perhaps it's even a stretch.
Well, I've been doing a lot of research recently and looking into themes and the beliefs and philosophy of yin and yang. And the twins are definitely intended to be that kind of thing. Their personalities are very different. We have a boy and a girl, but together they make a good, solid fighting unit. Their differences strengthen them more than than if they were the same.
By the way, for if those of you who can't hear it, just imagine answers playing in the background while facing Bahamut. It's
That's actually a good question. Is there any game audio at all?
There was when I checked earlier.
Are we actually gonna fight this thing and then like?
Let's do it.
Oh my god! I'm not even a tank.
Yeah,
Yeah, we-
Oh, I
we
should've
don't
gotten
need
here as a
where we're
tank.
going.
My rotation's scuffed.
Don't let it temper you.
Actually, that's very interesting. Obviously, Bahamut at this point was very drained, very damaged, and not in the best of shape when we partly reconstructed. But still, even at level 50...
Okay, we're about to skip every phase.
Yeah, still at level 50, the adventure is strong in the
Don't
Echo
bounce.
tempered.
Don't go bounce.
Oh.
Spread out, you'll
I
probably be fine.
totally remember this fight.
I
swear.
actually I did this fairly recently with a friend of mine on this character, so I do kind of remember it. But I also did a lot of progression with it back in the day, and it is a lot.
This is fun. I'm excited for cross data center and that we can do this all together. This
See, I
really
like
bumps up
the
stream.
I like the vines on the platform here.
There's the green.
Mhm.
So,
The vi-
Sludge said
the
they never got to see this
vines-
before.
The
Yeah.
vines kind of look like more like a neural connection sort of thing. Like, you know, like they
Brainstem?
spread like vines. But...
It makes me wonder if we're going to see that again in the context of, for example, Fandaniel's towers.
I was gonna say that those vines, the shape kind of reminds me of the blue light in those towers. That
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
good spot.
Yeah, I can see that.
Who gets the green? Who gets the green? Who gets the green?
I forgot that if you skip all the mechanics, it takes so long for it to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be a few
Very
minutes.
dramatic fight.
It's a small break as a reward.
Oh, I get the red. Hey, Val, hey, Val.
Hey, Bonnie, look at the color of green of that platform.
Goodbye, Bon.
That was fun. Do it again. You killed Bond.
Did you get bonked into the wall?
You.
F.
You're welcome.
Look at the platform. The heck?
For those that don't know, I am... You don't want me being the healer.
Neuralink. I don't know if we need it. Who wants to be the,
exactly.
Who wants to be the
I was-
test dummy?
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
I was saying those things remind me like neuron connection, and that I actually forgot that the thing that the buff is called the Neuralink. Yeah.
Who wants to be the test dummy?
I'll be
What?
the test dummy.
We're gonna not do Neuralink and see if it kills a level 80 on somebody.
We better dump Noxec then.
Is it possible to solo Binding Coil 11 Phoenix? Absolutely.
Yeah, I did it on Dark Knight.
There's only
Yeah,
like
one
maybe
page.
there's only like one or two turns of coil that are hard, if not impossible to solo. I think Nail is probably the only one really. It's like a big pain in the butt. But
Nail-
the second boss of final coils is a bit of a pain too.
Yeah.
Neil is impractical with fewer than 3 in my experience. Try to
I mean,
diamond.
You can do it with 2, but you need fast DPS.
You have to know what you're
because
doing, basically.
You've got to skip
There it
that
is.
hot cold phase
Here you go.
after Heaven's Fall.
Flare dampening is the effect.
Get rid of that shield.
Damage taken by
Definitely.
Bahamut's Terra Flares reduced.
Fine, I'll get rid of my shield.
Terraflare. Terraflare sounds scary, but then you get to Final Fantasy 13 too, and when you see the final boss casting XIV, you're like, oh.
Oh,
fuck,
Aquamore! Let's do
I
it,
don't
guys.
know.
Let's do it.
Terra Flare seems perfectly grounded to me.
The fun allowed.
Sorry about that.
It goes behind.
Cue applause.
I wanted to see people die.
Sludge is very impressed.
You'll get your opportunity, don't worry.
Can always die later.
To
Everyone
Fandaniel.
died but myself.
It is the fun raid series. It's a lot more practical to sit down with a few friends and just run through them now that it's heavily oversynced. Obviously, the
Yeah.
stat will affect that a little, but being level 50, I doubt it's going to affect it that much.
Yeah.
It's like,
the background and the ground is interesting in this part because the background is simple, but it's this red thing, and the ground is this coily thing. No pun intended. A Neuralink blackish stuff. It
And then
kind
there's
of
the
reminds me.
crystals below us.
Kind of reminds me of how Amaroth was in the dungeon, and how there's something weird about that.
Hey, did
maybe
you see that orange, the sun in the background just there before it phased out?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, and when
very
you-
awesome symbol, like a circle and then a dot in the middle. Also, thank you, Mom. Nice to have you.
Yeah, and when you first come in, there's a shot of what looks like the sun too, and I'm just like,
People try and tell me they
Hmm.
haven't been following this since 2.0, and I just laugh and laugh and laugh.
Yeah, even if they didn't have every detail down, I think they had a really good idea of what they wanted to do.
This
Initially.
symbolism is the general idea, and you just start throwing the themes in there.
Exactly. And then they turn into a nice chunky soup.
Bahamut was called the Dawn Worm, yes?
The Dawn Worm, yes.
Probably
So-
why he woke up at the start of the seventh, the dawn of the seventh astral era. No, I'm kidding. I also forgot my words. That's cool.
It's all poetic.
With this last coil disabled, there shall be naught left to bind Bahamut.
I do like that we've kind of cycled through the colors through the times of day. With Shadowbringers being night, of course, and have come back to dawn. Endbringers, that'll be or Endwalker, that'll be fun. Yeah, for
That is
people on
really
Crystal,
cool.
I am always down to run stuff when I can find the time. I haven't done these raids in a while, so it'd be fun to do it again.
Absolutely. Oh, we'll be able to do Endwalker stuff together too.
yeah, I'm super duper excited for all that. I'm so happy about data center travel.
Same.
I'm just entranced by this. We'll move on shortly. Hope you
The
enjoy
particular
as well.
blue. Is that like his soul going away?
I think he's dissipating.
Yeah, it's dissipating.
His aether is returning to the land.
And then orange, and then boom, and hello, purple heart.
If you told me this is what
Not at all.
this is what
Wait, Meowth, you've never seen this?
yeah, I did, but it was a long time
It's been a
ago.
while. I'd forgotten about that.
And more like sun imagery, you know? Because reasons.
Total coincidence that definitely won't become important several expansions later.
Clearly.
Guys, it's snowing. But it's not snow, it's people.
God.
Meowth and I look at each
Wow. Near reference right there.
other. Snow and summer.
You know, I've had snow in summer before, it's fantastic.
Did you breathe some of it in?
Yes, I did.
No wonder you're a monster.
It was actually called cocaine.
It's not so.
No.
But from all I have gleaned,
This
it
just
seemed
in,
a
cocaine is
distinct
people.
possibility. The scene people describe of the battle
Okay,
of
should we
Cosmo
go
was
back
one
to
of
Primals?
unimaginable
We're going back to
devastation.
Primals.
And 'tis through the combined prey
Next on the
of
roster,
Despot
Sephiroth.
and an abundant
Sephiroth,
source of
Zervin,
evil,
and
the
Sophia.
Primals are born.
Sephiroth the
Put
Fiend.
two and two together.
Are you in game or yeah, you're in game, so I can. Does anyone else want to read from it, or does anyone else have it pulled up?
'Twas this revelation that made you wary.
I
of
do
my
not.
fear That in my obsession, I would fall under his
No,
primal
because
sway.
I don't want to
Is that
get
why you
ranch
decided
dressing
to
on my
join us? To pull
encyclopedia.
me back?
Put your Golas away.
Pray forgive me, sister. I wished only to protect you.
No.
Don't
Well,
dump.
Yet I see
Just
now
don't dump
that
your
I
ranch
need
dressing on your
Hades'
encyclopedia, and you'll be fine.
There will always be time for ranch dressing with Hades
May
there.
I ask you a question? What do you now intend to do with
Moving
the
on.
truth you have uncovered?
Sephiroth, the guy who skipped leg day, went straight to.
That's implying
Whoa.
that arm day can give you extra arms.
Arm day every day.
Sephiroth was summoned by a race of tree-like beings native to the continent of Mericidia. Believed to be
ants?
the world's first tree ascended to divinity, he is said to command the wellspring of life. Allegan records substantiate this claim, attributing the icon with the ability to induce spontaneous growth in living organisms throughout the manipulation of ambient etheric energy. Sephiroth often enlarged his own form to his colossal size to wreak devastation upon his enemies, earning him the title of the Fiend from the battered armies of Allag. So, yes, he juiced himself.
And then they
Yeah.
turned him in. Then they juiced him and turned him into a battery.
Indeed. I find
Oh.
that glowing core-like thing in the middle of his chest to be very interesting. I doubt we'll ever get lore on that, but I find it a little suspicious.
Yeah, it's interesting. Also, the icons of the Warring Triad, they each represent. Well, I'm not going to say Middle Eastern because Sophia is kind of Greek, but Greece sometimes is added.
I would
to
not say
Middle
Greek.
East.
I would not say Greek at all.
Nah, it's complicated. I mean-
Some of her moves are. One of them is called the Chintamani,
Yeah.
which is a reference
But-
to the Chintamani stone.
I was speaking of the origin, the name Sophia, the concept of the balance and all of that. Yeah, there is definitely some Eastern flavor in that. The Chintamani obviously is the Indian, like
Indian.
Indian, yeah.
version of these
Disabling
sorts of
Sephiroth's
Philosopher's
restraints
Stone.
now.
Curse you, Harry.
So it's kind of a mix of some Platonic beliefs with Indian mythology, but at the same time, Greece sometimes is included in Near Eastern civilizations. Sephiroth is clearly, well, I don't know if I had to say Jewish or Hebrew, but
I
and
would say you're right about that one, yeah.
All of these concepts are ultimately inculcated into various things such
Yeah.
as Gnosticism, Hebrew
Yeah.
Gnosticism, etc. So, like, the Sephiroth is obviously. I should pull up a stupid image, but it's a real concept. Sophia standing for wisdom, etc.
I believe
Yeah.
Sephiroth or Sephiroth is actually also on the Tree of Life.
yeah, it's actually the tree of the Kabbalah.
It's that
They
very
have
Tree. And if you look
uh,
at this in terms of looking at the aetherological chart we have in the game, it's very clear what the references are.
Yeah, that's true.
In fact, I have something to show you guys.
Did it have to do with autoing the boss?
Oh, feel free. So, stream.
He'll still kill you.
He has a tail, actually. I hadn't paused to consider he has a tail.
his appearance is generally quite similar to Chaos from the Omega raids, actually.
Yeah, I would
Which
say.
is from previous game.
Yeah. The Kabbalah tree of life.
The Sephiroth. You'll notice familiar looking things on there, like Bina is one of the names of the ad.
Bina, the ad.
Yeah,
They
Tiglets
use.
and
Have any of you played Fire Emblem Three Houses?
Nope.
Really, you asked me that?
I was asking for the rest. The names that are the words that the magical ring that appears whenever a character casts magic or when Sophis uses
Hit
magic.
me.
Those are names of the Sephiroth.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's kind of
I'm soft horror.
what I think I knew what that meant. I read it somewhere, the light of something, but I don't recall what.
I mean, it makes sense since for that attack, a bunch of light gets channeled into the crystal / art in a fashion.
You guys ever look at the game without the UI?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
If you hit the on keyboard, I believe it's what
You
number.
got enough taker.
Too bad the music doesn't stay after we kill him. But this arena is really interesting to look around too.
Yep.
He disappears pretty green. Well,
Yes, as you can probably see, his attacks are earth and water specifically, which is why he's a primal approach at the association. The Dwarven triad actually splits all 6 elements up between themselves, 2 for each.
Is this
Yeah,
protein
two-
drink down there?
Look how much life stream.
yeah, it's
This is
true.
the protein drink.
He's doing the do.
And if you look to the north, you can see huge freaking drains in the background too. Oh, whoops.
Huge freaking drink.
By the way, you can fall.
Going swimming.
Yeah, I went swimming.
There they
I
are.
forgot the barrier doesn't come back.
Oh, the big pipes. So this
Yeah.
is inside the mothership still.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is huge.
Platform we're on is still elegant.
That's to see
I
it
mean,
evolve.
I'm not saying anything, but if Sephiroth is the tree of life and is the closest thing to the live stream we've seen, that green is the same shade of the underworld section of the twinning. Just saying.
You know, this brings to mind, since we're talking about the Warren Triad, the whole purpose of them using these 3 primals as a battery, right?
Aw.
This is the facility that's involved in chimeric experiments and the Genesis expression.
Yeah.
Genesis expression, for those who may not remember it, because it was more or less a one-off, like mention, is the a thing that Alligans had discovered that they could use this expression to basically create from nothing, which will sound familiar if you read up on the ancient powers of creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you watch Star Trek too, because
Fair.
it's the Genesis device.
Are we all suiciding?
I mean,
I already left.
I mean, it's live stream. Do you really think I'm going to not jump into it?
Hey, I'm alive again.
Right?
Maybe
Put her in the
Find
wheelchair and have her
maybe-
predict future Square Enix games.
maybe you can find some. You can find something if you take a dip.
Oh, I'll find something, alright. Don't you worry.
Moving on to Sophia.
Yes. It's actually one of my favorite songs.
It's
Same.
really
Same.
great.
Made in 2 hours, according to Koji Fox.
Which is
Oh,
freaking
quite well. Sometimes when you work fastest is when you're the most inspired. I know.
I swear, Koji Fox is the writing manifestation, or the composing manifestation of those artists that say quick sketch done in 2 hours, and I'm like, quick
So,
sketch.
This
fuck.
is one of the most interesting arenas to me, by the way, for the Warring Triad.
Wait till the
Is
next
it-
phase. Check out the buildings in the background.
Yeah,
kind
like
of
the first
works
phase,
out for her
the
worshippers.
watermelon crystals make me think of concepts in Anamnesis Anator.
Those containers behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Many
There's 2 really
chains.
big ones to our left and right as well.
So I'll go ahead and read off Sophia. Summoned by the diverse peoples of ancient Mericidian nation, Sophia was revered simply as the goddess, an entity of enlightenment. Legends tell that she brought together tribes of disparate form by imbuing their souls with a transcendent understanding of balance and harmony. Sophia is beloved for her boundless compassion, yet also feared for the merciless retribution visited upon those who would dare upset the perfect equilibrium of the scales.
Oh god, not the balance.
Yes, not them.
Also, an interesting design thing is the quote-unquote
The
daughter she stands on
Unenlightened
has
come.
horns that remind me of the Amano Heidelin artwork.
Yeah, true. And yeah, kind of. I mean, you could see that and think it's a Steam Eater.
I mean, yeah, it's the same color
Way to
scheme.
death.
And it could be Proto-Amphorian.
Has a halo around it too.
Yeah. It's a mix between Sin Eater and Angel from the Bayonetta series.
As far as the elemental stuff goes, you'll see Sophia casting wind and lightning attacks. Those are her two elements of the 6.
Yep.
And also
Sophia-
drops blows into balance.
Fucking Quasar.
Ooh. Kill number 2 first.
Come forth, scales of revelation.
Oh no.
I would know the weight of your souls.
Alright, look at the buildings now.
Yeah.
They look like the Eastern, vaguely Amaradish thing. I found that very interesting.
The square.
And the gold.
Plus,
a lot more
if you
gold.
look at the sky in the north,
Sin must
sky
be
in the north
balanced
is
with suffering.
Oh. Well,
the sky in the north is the only area that has this reddish orange tear in it that reminds me a lot of the last area in the Emerald Dungeon.
I would
Be the
say
bearer
that
of my
kind
wisdom.
of, but if we go by progression, Sephiroth Arena is more like blue, then Sophia has this sunset dawn effect, then Servan is complete red, like, you know, like,
Very calamitous red, yeah.
yeah.
We'll see. Won't we?
But yeah, there's something that evokes that sense of sunset, dawn. I don't know in this case. But yeah.
I might say that since Mare City was in the south and that's in the north, that could be the approaching Allegan armies, and that's a fire or the land burning as the armies approach from the north.
Could be, yes.
They definitely like to do the thing where it can mean multiple things. Actually, that reminds me. I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about the lyrics. I'm not going to recount the lyrics here. Maybe we want to pull up the picture. The general gist of the lyrics in the Sophia fight is that it's talking about
It's topical.
What was that?
But
Foul?
please
You
continue.
broke up.
No, I said I can absolutely pull the lyrics up. It's
Oh, yeah, if you
totally
want.
topical.
Yeah, because basically they're talking about a woman whose husband died fighting the Allegans, basically. A Mericidian woman, husband died. She's, in her grief, she's become cruel and abusive to her daughter. And the daughter basically prays to Sophia's like, what do I do? How do I stop this? And Sophia's like, yeah, kill your mom. Also, now you're a murderer, so kill yourself. Long story short. But this is absolutely, in my personal opinion, a manifestation, or a sub-theme of the Zodiac Hydaelyn conflict of the Ascians saying, what do we do? We'll do this. Well, now you're also bad, so you've got to go too. It's a microcosm of this macro conflict and battle.
At the same time, it evokes the principle that we were spelled in Ilmeg, and it applies to the Primals, the equivalent exchange. Like when Sophia, for example, says sin must be balanced with punishment, so you got to pay for what you get, basically.
Precisely.
Yeah. And I'm really glad you brought those lyrics up.
The kiss of the sunset brings.
I think that was at the 2016 Fan Fest when Koji Fox went over that during the lore panel, which unfortunately isn't available on YouTube anymore because that was the one that they charged for.
Also, that line, the heart seeketh equilibrium, I just turn and slowly look at Elidibus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It makes me wonder if Elidibus took any sort of credit from La Brea, like any sort of inspiration from him, and created a few of his own concepts.
Possible.
I can also connect, unfortunately, still this broken melody thing with what the Warrior of Light is no doubt going to do to the Ascians, more or less.
Yeah, do you have anything to say about this?
No, she's just gonna sing it all.
A heart with a harmony is moonlight with a dark. I don't know.
Need more
because
fantasy
you
points.
put
How
the
many
fire
windows are you going to
down.
open?
With balance will your worry pass.
So still this broken melody, under with shelter thee. One last step only
What happened?
leaving, an empty heart and down the sea.
You're opening up more instances of everything, is what it looks like. Everything is
Yeah,
we need
it's
to go deeper.
replicated.
You
I'm gonna switch
broke
screens
the
here.
internet.
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna have to fist fight the stream now. Sorry.